All right. So what I'm gonna see, this is
Can you just, okay, that's fair. Can you just tell me though? Say, Andrew, I'm finished. You can.
The host was talking.
Now, see,
He just asked me a question, lady.
I didn't ask anything.
No one asked you anything.
I asked Hurricane. I wanted to make a point to Hurricane and everybody.
Yeah, I'll be really quick. I just,
All right, go ahead.
I just want to ask. Can you please just tell me when you're done so I know when to respond?
Yeah, normally what I say is I yield my time.
Can you ask them to also? Can you ask them to just say, Andrew, we're now done. You can respond.
Whenever they stop talking, I'm not going to tell them how to respond when they're done talking. Because I'm not there.
Yeah, but I don't know when that is. I think they're done and they're not done. So, like, just ask them, okay. Hey, Andrew, I'm done. You can respond. That seems totally fair.
Okay, then you have to ask them if they.
Okay, guys, can we agree to that?
I'm not going to demand.
Can we agree to that?
I haven't even spoken.
Yeah, I know, but can we agree to it?
Yeah, neither have I.
Can we agree to it? Hurricane, can we agree to that? You'll actually say, okay, I'm done?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
If the period in my sentence or question mark is not enough, I absolutely will say.
So
Thank you.
We're going to Hurricane. We're going to go to Carson. Then we're going to go to Zaza. All right, go ahead, Hurricane.
So we talked about jobs and riding the economy, right? So under the Trump administration, there was a bill passed that provided what was called PPP, right? Payroll Protection Plan, right? $793 billion was supplied so people did not lose their jobs, right? That was the entire point of that program. But we continuously hear that, oh, those jobs are just going to simply come back. A lot of people did not come back from the pandemic, right? We can't sit here and say that businesses did not close permanently. We cannot actually attest to that, right? Because there were so many businesses that closed their doors, even though after receiving a completely forgivable grant to them to actually try to survive C-19. And then we had legislation passed in a much more record time than the Trump second term to get legislation on the books, which would have been March 11th, right? And all we hear now is, give them time, give them time, give them time. For what? If Sleepy Joe beat Trump in legislation, why is that okay? You guys are saying he's asleep at the wheel, but he's performing better than Donald J. Trump. That is the period in my sentence. Go ahead.
Okay, so to respond to this actually does not refute my point. So if we look at the economic value structure, especially before C-19, we can look at the jobs trajectory, which was expected. My claim is that if C-19 had not happened, Trump was slated to add way more jobs than Biden ever did. And there's no reason for us to assume or believe in any way, shape, or form that Trump also would not have added the same, if not more, amount of jobs if he had had a second term. In fact, we can expect that he could. And I can give you the reasoning here for why. When I ask you for a policy that Biden was responsible for, which added these jobs, you gave me things like the CHIPS Act. But under the CHIPS Act, Intel had massive layoffs. There was massive layoffs. It didn't actually do what it promised to do, which was to protect jobs. It was the Trump-era corporate tax policy that assured that we had these job protections. And that is what the economic stimulus really was that drove job growth in the United States. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you look at real wages, under Trump, real wages, can I just finish? I'm almost done. I didn't interrupt anybody. It'll take me a few seconds.
You
A few seconds.
interrupted everybody.
I didn't say a word. I didn't interrupt anybody.
Dennis, he's cooking himself right now. Because he wants to
all I
talk
wanted to know. I know he's
It's still muted again.
But I would like a source so I can follow along.
Muted
I
again.
have my laptop up. So can you please give me a source so I can follow along with the claims you're making?
You mean, well, how would I send you the source?
Just tell me the source so I can give it. What did you do to get this information?
Yeah, so for which thing, though, specifically that you're asking for?
About as far as like his projections and the fact that you're missing the fact that Hurricane even said that we were losing jobs prior to the pandemic, and the pandemic actually saved Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Can you? I just want to make sure that I get this right. So you're asking for a source that Trump created more jobs than Biden, and that the trajectory was.
I'm looking at all the claims you're making. I would like to know where you got all this information from, all these claims. That's all. Yeah. So you can get most of this data is going to come from. Hang on a second. I can pull it up. I have it here. Give me 2 seconds. Well, I mean, you laugh as though we're supposed to have sources on hand.
which is ridiculous.
No, I was laughing at my
but
cat.
anyway,
The world doesn't revolve around you. Calm down.
All right, so I do want to.
So hang on. You can go to the House Budget Committee.gov.
Okay, House Budget Committee. Okay, I know where you're going with this, but okay.
Yeah, so you can go to the House Budget Committee, and you can take a look at each of these individual claims that I'm making. The first is under the CHIPS Act.
Who's in charge of the House Budget Committee, Hurricane? Who is actually in charge of that?
The Republicans.
Oh, Republicans. So, have I not said, Hurricane, let's give them a little education. What have I said in the past? That I would never use Biden's or anyone, whitehouse.gov or anything like that to prove my claims because I know how biased it could be. Do you remember me saying on numerous occasions that I'd rather bring news articles like AP, Reuters, NPR? I mean, am I missing something by saying that I wouldn't use that as a available source? Because couldn't it be maybe I'm wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, right? Because the more suitable source for him would have actually been going to the actual jobs report, right? Where the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, who tracks our job growth and declines as well, that would have been actually a more suitable source, right? But he gave us the Budget Committee. That guy. Okay.
Yeah, well, only for one thing, which was on the Intel CHIPS Act, which they provide data for.
Yeah. Did they provide data that showed that in the years 2017, 2018, and 2019, that we had over 40% of our states in the United States all raise their minimum wage in the most consistent range in the last decade?
So?
Because you keep trying to, because you want to talk about money, right? You want to talk about real wage
growth.
No,
what's my claim? Repeat. Hang on. What's my claim?
No. You keep starting your sentence in the middle of mine, right? And this is how, before I had
you
to
asked me two questions, dude. Did they say this? Did they say that?
I didn't ask you anything, right?
You asked me two different questions. Did they include this? Did they include that?
I specifically said you're not highlighting that 40% of the states in the United States from 2017, 2018, and 2019, right? When real wage actually showed its growth, right? Because you guys always want to say 2020.
What does that have to do with anything that I'm saying, though?
Because the entire time of Donald Trump's presidency, sir,
yeah,
the states, right? 40% of our states raised their minimum wage consistently for the first time in over a decade.
So?
Again, you're talking about wages, bro.
No, I was talking about Intel laying people off and giving a source for that.
Even if they're laying people off right now, your boy's laying people off, right? In the federal government. He's laying off thousands of people, right?
Yes.
So I do not care about what one company did, right? This is what you're not understanding,
yeah, but
right?
this, do you understand?
Hold on, I'm not done making a point, right?
You're never going to be done.
Me, right? Filibustering, right? So slow down a second. Here's an actual question so you can respond to it. How many employees did Intel employ during that time, and how many employees did they lay off? There's the period.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
wait.
Question mark.
So I'm allowed to respond now. Okay. So
that was a question for you.
Yeah. So what happened is I was asked specifically to provide a source for those layoffs, and I did.
Gish galloping once again.
No, there's no gish.
Right?
Hang on, you're switching. Calm down, dude.
The question. I am calm, dude.
You're freaking out.
Over you. No, I'm not freaking out at all.
You're freaking out, dude.
You need to stop tone policing me, right?
Because no one's tone policing. You're just freaking out. You need to stop freaking out.
You're still talking while I'm talking.
I was answering.
So you can sit here and talk to yourself. Go ahead.
Muted again. Yeah. So anyway, I was asked.
Stop talking over people.
Or the next.
Oh my god! How do you guys deal with the vocal fry?
There's.
Oh my god! How do you guys deal with the vocal fry? These people.
Okay,